Don Nachbaur, congratulations on your new job as head coach of SC Bern and welcome to Switzerland, although you're not yet in Switzerland. Well, we all wondered who's going to be the new coach in Bern. And to be honest, your name was not on my list. I didn't read your name. Can you take us quickly through the process, how you got this job?
Yeah, it was always high on my priority list as far as a top league in Europe, and my heart always wanted to go to a coach in Europe. I wanted to learn the European game. I had played over there. My wife and I loved the experience, and so when the job in Bern opened up, I immediately made a phone call, and next thing you know, I sent a resume and went through an interview process. And it was very extensive. It was a lot like what I'd been through in the National Hockey League. I think they were a totally professional team, and everything that was covered in those interviews, I thought was to the point. So it was a great process. I'm really excited about the opportunity. But to answer the question, when the job opened up, I made a phone call and I spoke to Florence. And next thing I know, I had an interview and went through that and I was offered the job, and I'm really excited about this opportunity because I think it's one of the top teams to coach in, for sure, in Switzerland and in Europe. So we're excited about just everything.
Now, you mentioned Florence Schelling, new GM in Bern. Obviously, it's rather special to have a woman in that position in Europe or in North America. How did you experience all these negotiations you had?
Well, first, I want to say that Florence has been 100% professional in her approach, really detailed in the interviews, the questions that I was asked. I think she had a specific plan on finding a coach with the type of questions that she did ask and the needs for the hockey club. I'm really excited about working with Florence. I think she's going to do a great job, and I'm certainly going to support her in the role as a coach, and we'll have excellent communication. She'll know what's happening, with the club as far as what I know, and vice versa. But you know what? We got a big job ahead of us as far as turning the ship around. I've always been a taskmaker as far as I take a lot of pride in the fact that I've coached teams that at the end of the year, people said to me, your team overachieved. And I went through that in Los Angeles. We went there. The team hadn't made the playoffs in years at an older club. And we were able to get these guys that had won Stanley Cups back in the right direction. But I think it's just shown a lot of love and a lot of care for the people that you work with. And it comes down to being a good person, and that's what I consider myself. And I'd say the same about Florence. There's a lot of care there, and I'm really looking forward to working with both her, the management staff, and the players in SC Bern.
Now, did you have any contact with active players or coaches players that have been active in Switzerland to get a better picture?
Yes. That's a good question. Of course, I know lots of coaches that have coached in Switzerland in the past. When I was in Austria, there was a guy that had coached in Bern that was an icon there and won some championships. Might be from Boston, but anyways, there's a lot of ex-players that have played in the league and some current players that I had reached out to. Some of the coaches recently that have coached in Switzerland gave me a better idea of the league. Some of the things that I wasn't sure of, they reaffirmed. But yeah, I did use some resources. I could name one guy that I coached in the Western Hockey League, Dom Zwerger, Alicio Bertagia. And then, of course, some of the guys in the Western Hockey League that I coached against, I never spoke to Sven Barchi or Niederreiter, but they were some great players that came from Switzerland. I have the utmost respect for those type of players. They play for me more of a Canadian game. They're skilled, but they still have that physical side to their game. They like to compete and they work hard. And when I saw those guys playing in the Western Hockey League, I really appreciate the fact that they came over to learn the game and were really good at it. So I have a high level of respect for the Swiss league and for sure the Swiss players.
So this is going to be interesting because Dominic Zwerger and Alessio Bertaccio, they're still one of the most interesting players in the league. I can assure you that. It's going to be fun to watch if you play against these guys. Now, I guess you already answered somehow my next question. Your style of hockey you like, is that like hard competing, hard working hockey team you like?
Well, Oliver, if you look at my nose, it was straight when I was born, and it's not so straight anymore. I was a type of player that liked to get into the action. I didn't play on the outside; I played on the inside, and I think it's really important. And I don't think it's a secret. Teams that win, they work hard. That'll be a basis for our club with SC Bern, and the other side is they have to compete. Those two intangibles, I think, are really important. The other side of my game is I really want the team to play fast. I don't like slow hockey. So when we have the puck, we want to attack the opposition net. And when we don't have the puck, we're not skating backwards. We're going after people to get the puck back. So we might be heavy in the forecheck. We might be hard defensively, but I want our guys to attack, five-man attack and five-man defend. And that's a term that I'm going to use a lot. But at the end of the day, I want us to have a style of play that we can be proud of as a group, and the fans are proud to watch. Something that's exciting for our fans, because I know we have a very passionate fan base, and I'm looking forward to grooming our team to play like that.
Now you're going to work for an organization that is number one in Europe in terms of spectators and has been for decades. An association that has been very successful in recent years, but now things are changing. It's going to be a tough task for you to tackle now. How are you going to start doing this?
Well, I think that the number one thing is players have to earn the right to play. And it just can't be given because you've played in the league for 15 years or 20 years. The guys that work hard, the guys that compete hard, and regardless if you're 18 or 19 years old, I'm not scared to play a young guy. I think development has to be at a premium with our club, just because we've got some guys that are on the back end of their career. They still can be effective players, and I expect them to be the leaders of our team. They have to help in that process of developing our young guys. And I went through this in Los Angeles. I use this guy freely. His name, Ajay Kopitar. He was our captain. He's a Slovenian player. I have the utmost respect for him as a person, not just for the way he led the team, but what he did with our younger players, how he helped the younger players. And I think that that's really important when you are in a cycle where you're have some younger guys that are coming into the mix with some older guys that in a few years may not be there.
Now, we mentioned before that Bern has been very successful, but then again, there were some negative voices. They said, although it's very successful, it's boring hockey. So just to let you know, you need to be successful and play like hell and entertain the fans. So this is the task you have, huh?
Well, I can honestly say that I watch a lot of games, and I'm not a fan of teams that play the 1-3-1, where they wait for the opposition to skate towards them. My philosophy is the forwards, I want them skating forwards, and the D, I want them skating forwards. So our game plan is all forward, not backwards. And I think that to play that style of hockey, your club and players within the club have to have a high fitness level, because it's an energy game. And we're not going to go on the ice to conserve energy. We're going out on the ice to expend energy. We're going to get after it.